community-led telco, which means all the support is done by members for other members. So there's a real community feel to the brand. They became certified as a B Corp, and they kind of positioned their brand all around fairness and being up to good. And our role on winning the pitch was to reflect that thinking and that brand ethos throughout all aspects of their marketing, advertising, and their media. And the pitch challenge was really around driving commercial value and sustainable actions. And actually, we all went through Purpose Disruptors training together. A really, really important kind of way of understanding what we were trying to achieve, the landscape. We published our first responsible marketing manifesto in 2024. It was a set of principles covering the ads we make, the content we create, and the places and platforms we appear on. And, it was very much a debate. We were sitting in rooms with whiteboards, sort of chalking up ideas and then testing them. We published it to our members. As I mentioned, it's a community-run kind of brand. So one of the most important things was that radical transparency. And we've just published our second version sort of mid last year. We've also driven kind of sustainability through other aspects of our marketing and media. The way we've shown up and the way we've talked to people in the market has really led to us unlocking some significant value and real dividends. We've publicly backed media partners who bring innovative, sustainable solutions to the market, and partnering with them has unlocked media value and also these sort of test campaigns. And this quote from my client, who sadly couldn't make it today: "The true strength of the brand agency partnership is unlocked when we moved from a transactional relationship to a transformational one. This shared purpose is not just about meeting a growing consumer demand. It's about building trust and transparency that long-term clients seek, leading to a partnership that's not only effective, but infinitely more resilient."
So our emissions actually sits majority within our scope 3 emissions, where it's our suppliers and our vendors. And as you can imagine, doing marketing, sponsorship, so on and so forth, that's where a ton of our emissions sits. We have been decoupling our emissions by attacking from both sides. One, from the supplier end, working with our vendors and having conversations of what can we do? Can you purchase recs? How can we help each other decarbonize? And then the other side is optimizing in this specific scenario, our production shoots by leveraging ag green. So limiting travel, optimizing where and when possible, if we can use a studio that runs on renewable energy, so on and so forth. And then the hard work really comes in to actually being able to calculate these emissions using the ag green calculator, partnering with our vendor Maidstone, who is helping QA all the data and then sending it over to our data team so that we can actually get credit for our activity-based emissions and switch out our inventory. We were able to grow by 12% and reduce our emissions by 7%, which is a story that not a lot of brands are telling. We're debunking this myth that if you spend more money and you grow, your emissions grow. There's a way to do it when you keep sustainability at its core. What's in our power is where we shoot, who we work with, the materials that we bring on production shoots, and then being able to embed eco consultants across our production shoots that are more larger tiered.
The stakeholders have become so enthusiastic, and this is now embedded in the culture of MasterCard. Was always a muscle that we had to train, and now I feel like that muscle's gotten so much stronger.
We talk about challenging convention to create value, and I think that that's not just in terms of what we're trying to create for our clients, but it's about how we're also showing up for them and as a partner, which means also compliance and procurement, the juggernaut of which continues to roll, and we're seeing no change in that, only an increase. We have a cross-functional ESG collective, as it were. It includes legal, finance, marketing, operations, people, and I think that helps make sure it goes across the whole business. When we look at the overall marketplace, I would say that it can be summed up as quiet acceleration. I don't think it has stopped despite all the negative headlines. Global companies, this comes from a PwC report in September last year, their global sustainability reporting survey, and around 66% of companies are increasing the resources towards reporting. They're also increasing the senior time, and they're also starting to report across the supply chain. Instead of it just being the procurement ask, it's actually a source of competitive advantage for us. Really, it's about trying to see where we can add extra value, what gets into the business strategy. Really starting to look at not just the sort of one-off reporting per shoot, it was actually taking a holistic view about all of the production across the year. And what we're doing now is we're creating these forecasting tools where we can actually give, if you like, averages by bucket of whether it's a high intensity shoot, medium or low, giving them an average that's based on their data against the ad green industry data, and it helps them forecast for the year ahead and then obviously measure as we go through. So it's really a business tool to meet objectives.